Who's ready to win the day in sports? I know you are. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com, Monday through Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm Justin Fensterman, and let's break everything down from a fantasy sports perspective. What is going on, everybody? My name is Justin Fensterman, and welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily here on the Elite Plus Network, powered by the good old FG, FantasyGuru.com. Going to have a little quickie stream today. Major tech issues. Not going to get into all the particulars, but internet. You got to love it sometimes when it controls you and it controls your day. That is not ideal. So for the next 20 to 25 minutes or so, let's talk about sports. Let's talk about what is on the agenda for today's show. We are going to talk some NBA here. We're going to see here with all the confusion. Russell Clay may or may not join us here in the next little bit here because we are starting a little bit late. So with that in mind, because we do still have the NBA coverage going on at FantasyGuru.com, I figured I can give a little quick preview because of what's to come in my write-up a little bit later on the site regarding the final two play-in tournament games. I also thought it would be cool to maybe look at the series for just a little bit. So it's great to see everybody out there, and it's great to be with all of you. Elite Sports Game Time coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is why the streams have been ending a little bit earlier. So that is what's going on starting next Monday. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fantasy Sports Radio today. 1 p.m. Eastern, me, Ray Flowers, talking baseball and talking some basketball with all y'all. So with that in mind, let's talk about the final two play-in tournament games in the NBA to determine who our 8 seeds will be. The East 8th will go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number 1 overall seed in the East. And out west, the 8th seed will go to Oklahoma City and take on the Thunder. So when looking at this Heat Hawks game, Atlanta's offense is good. They're just good. And because they are so good, it's really hard to just say the Heat are going to completely stomp them. You just don't know if they are, because the Heat's offense doesn't always come to life. But when you look in the last 15 games, the Heat have ranked number 4 defensively in the NBA. They're rating the 4th best in the final 15 games of the season. Now, you're probably wondering, well, if they've been that good, why are they at where they're at? Well, they've had some health issues. Andrew Wiggins has been out a little bit. They got rid of Jimmy Butler. All that drama kind of anchored down their season, because when you have a player, an impact player like a Jimmy Butler that just isn't in and isn't playing, also with him and the attitude problems, bringing down the team chemistry, it definitely brought down this team's mojo throughout. This team is well coached, Coach Spoelstra, and it has nothing to do with any of the crap rumors you're hearing about who his ex-wife is dating, not dating on the team. It has nothing to do with that. This was all Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. The Miami Heat are disciplined. They play really good defense. Now, the one area of vulnerability, and we saw it with the other night, Josh Giddey, and we're likely going to see it again tonight with one Trae Young. And Trae Young is probably going to score 30-plus points, maybe even 25, 28 points. I would say he's going to be flirting with 30 tonight. And that's because the Miami Heat's area of vulnerability is against guards, and their defense against guards has been poor. And it's one of the things that the Heat are going to have to decide, and Coach Spo is going to have to decide tonight whether or not to put all of your efforts in limiting Trae Young, who, by the way, hasn't shot well against Miami this season, or let Trae do his thing, and then let's see who else is going to beat you. Guard the inside a little bit more. Limit Onyeka Okongwu, because as we saw the other night with the Hawks when they were taking on the Magic, Trae Young can score all the points that he can want, but he's not getting that secondary help outside of a little bit of Dyson Daniels, a little bit of Okongwu. So because of that, for me personally, I really just think that the Hawks are screwed tonight overall. And it would take the Heat to put up their worst defensive performance in a very long time in order for Atlanta to be able to win and move on. Atlanta's defense isn't good. I mentioned the last 15 games. The Hawks, during that time, they flirt kind of 21st. They're tied at the 21st mark when it comes to defensive rating. And the Heat's front court is going to destroy them. And I don't know how they're going to be able to guard that front court. Even if Andrew Wiggins is missing shots, and we've seen that from Miami, but Andrew Wiggins looks good. He's going to draw out a defender. Bam Adebayo, I mean, who's going to stop Bam Adebayo? That's going to be a major problem there. Okonkwo and Kel'el Ware could cancel each other out, with Okonkwo maybe scoring a little bit more, and he's going to have to be utilized tonight. But there is no answer for Bam Adebayo. And when I'm even looking at my write-up right now with what I have for potential plays, even seeing who we can look at and trust from Atlanta, it's very few outside of their guards. The Hawks are going to need guys like Karis LeVert, George Niang to be hitting 3 after 3 if they're going to stay in this game tonight. And when you look at this game from the wagering side of things, you've got DraftKings that has Miami favored on the road. You've got FanDuel that has Atlanta favored by a point. And to me, I'm more on the Miami side. I'm more on the defense side. The Heat have been here a bunch. The Heat know how to play clutch during this time. They've got the height. They've got the talent. And so for me, overall, I'm really looking to side with Miami. So that's why for me, when I'm going to build my lineups tonight in this 2-game slate, I'm looking more at the Miami Heat and even some of their cheaper options too. We saw Larson come back. I mean, these guys are two-way players. They may not be flashy. Tyler Hero's pretty flashy. The rest of the team really isn't. Bam kind of flashy, but everybody else, at least most of their players, are very blue-collared. And the Heat have what the Hawks have too. That's the other thing with them. The Heat have those shooters off the bench that they could bring in if they want to try to rely on a Duncan Robinson or an Alec Burks, versus the Hawks, who, if they want to rely on the guys I just said, LeVert, Niang, that means it's going to be tough. And a lot of people want to know about the expectations for first overall pick in the NBA draft back in 2024, this past draft, Zachary Rizasheh. And to me, he's instant offense, which is good when you have a more complete team. But the Hawks don't have that. Them missing Jalen Johnson is huge. And if they had Jalen Johnson, this game, to me, would be more of a toss-up, even though the spread indicates as such, even though the Hawks are a better home team than road team, even though the Hawks are, over the last few weeks, a month, a top 4 offense. Doesn't matter to me when you've got a top 4 defense facing them. Orlando's been at the top 2. Miami's been number 4 during that time. So it's not that much of a downgrade defensively. It's just from the offensive side, instead of having more of attacking, which you're going to see from Orlando, Miami's going to shoot a little bit more. But when we saw Miami in full control of that game against Chicago, who, by the way, if you look during that 15-game span, and this is why I keep bringing it up, because it's not necessarily about the full season anymore. I want to know, and you got to be careful when you look at stats like this, because you have to know who's in and out of the lineup. During that stretch of 15 games, Chicago ranked 10th defensively, and the Heat were able to control the whole game. They couldn't completely pull away, but they were in control for a decent portion of that contest. So because of that, I'm thinking that the Heat are going to win tonight. And if we're going to put some eggs in the basket of these players, I'm not going to try to get too cute. They're going to need someone off the bench. So if you want to go with a LeVert should have that shot volume tonight. And again, like I said, the Heat are more suspect against guards from the production standpoint. So I'm fine with you looking at LeVert. I'd rather you look at Karis LeVert tonight than Rizasheh. I don't care if Rizasheh gets more shots. I'd rather you look at Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert can drive more, and he's likely not going to draw the Andrew Wiggins matchup. That's going to be Rizasheh when he's on the floor, and that's going to be a problem. And it was going to be very hard for Atlanta, despite their fast pace. Miami has a mega pace advantage here. despite the fast pace, despite the good offense, despite Trae Young, it's going to be very hard for Atlanta to compete against this Miami Heat team. Some people look at the Bulls and like, yeah, the Bulls. The Bulls can bring offense too. And we did see the Bulls down the stretch be able to compete in games. So that's why I'm kind of comparing the Bulls to the Atlanta Hawks in that regard for the Miami Heat's opponents. So I'm thinking that the Heat are going to move on. And you know what? With their defense, because Cleveland also plays good defense too, I'm wondering if that's going to be a little bit more than just a 4 or 5 game series. Miami, they're well coached, and that comes through from a reality standpoint. This other game that we've got between Dallas and Memphis, this one is going to be tougher because ever since Taylor Jenkins got fired unceremoniously, this defense has dropped. And it had kind of been shaky, but now it's dropped. And so because it's been dropped, now all of a sudden you start to wonder if Dallas, playing off the momentum that they had from the other night when they beat Sacramento, it's making me wonder if Dallas and their size can once again compete. Wrote about this the other day at fantasyguru.com, that when it comes to the three-headed monster up front for the Dallas Mavericks, Anthony Davis at the 4 with one of Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford at the 5. Derek Lively started just like I thought he would. Okay, but he didn't play 20-plus minutes like I thought he would. Maybe that was because of the score of the game. My opinion tonight, season is on the line. I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm thinking Derek Lively is going to be playing 20-plus. The offense that they get from Daniel Gafford, they can get even more impactful offense doing the same thing from Anthony Davis. And that's why, to me, while Daniel Gafford is a good per-minute producer, still, if he's out there with Anthony Davis is going to be hella prioritized. And for me, what that means is, I keep seeing my hat's on straight. Is it on straight? Is it not? I try not to wear it like to the side or anything like that. I've never really worn it like this. I don't like wearing the front hat too, but more of a backwards hat kind of guy. I do it every so often with the Fantasy Guru hat, but not to get off topic. The Dallas Mavericks and their size could take advantage of Memphis's size, who's been actually helping them and keeping them in this spot. Because what we've seen from rookie Zach Edey has been incredible. They've given him more responsibility. He is a freaking bull in the middle, high volume rebound guy, hard to box out, hard to take out. And the problem is Jaren Jackson Jr. is somebody who's not that great of a defender. Good shot blocker, but can't really keep up in the post or anything like that. So because of that, Jaren Jackson Jr. going to be a little bit powerless in this matchup. And he's going to be battling Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is going to eat him for lunch. And Jackson's not going to get in the post, and he's going to do what he does, and he's going to hang at the arc, and that's really it. We block a shot, yes. Is he a big rebounder? No. That's why, to me, even though the pace of this game is going to be healthy, at the end of the day, I really can't fully trust Memphis from the betting standpoint. They're 6-point favorites. This game, a little bit too murky and fishy. And yes, I'm basing it off of what I saw with Dallas because we haven't seen that when it comes to Dallas. We haven't seen them fully healthy. PJ Washington, I wrote about this the other day, that he was going to have to make an impact, and yes, he did. And tonight, it's going to be the same way. And with PJ Washington likely at the 3, hanging at the elbow and the arc, I'm expecting him to put up similar production to what he did the other night, because that's Memphis's area of vulnerability. You could take them out at the elbow off the screen, and that is where PJ Washington is going to be good. He'll pop out to the arc. Doesn't have to be in the corner, but he is going to be getting a lot of high percentage shots tonight. The size that Dallas brings could be a bit much and could be surprising when it comes to this matchup this evening. But let's not forget, Memphis's guards are freaking good. They are good. And Sacramento, that Dallas just beat, they give up like the most threes. Teams shoot the best against them from long range. You've got Klay Thompson there. In this matchup, it's not going to be as easy. The defense, though, for Memphis isn't as strong, and that's what makes it very scary. But when looking at this other matchup, and you're seeing John Morant, Desmond Bane. John Morant is questionable going in, and it's annoying. I wish we could just get the final, which he should. My guess is he should play, but he's still questionable. So you can't just assume or anything like that. And remember, both of these teams know that they're going into OKC and they're not going to beat OKC. If OKC was a little bit hurt, maybe OKC wins all these depth battles. And that's going to be very difficult for either team. A team going in the wrong direction like Memphis, Dallas, they're kind of just there at this point. I know that Nico Harrison can say all he wants, oh, we're all in with Anthony Davis. You can't be all in with Anthony Davis. That's not going to help them here. They don't have Kyrie Irving. So at the end of the day, Memphis probably going to be playing John Morant anyway. It's not like it doesn't matter. It's still good to be represented in the playoffs. And for a while, we thought that this Memphis team could be the 2 seed in the West. And then things started turning south. Coach gets fired. Whenever that happens, it shakes the core, especially this late. You saw it with Denver too. So that's why, for me, I'm looking more tonight at these Dallas guys. Anthony Davis could likely find him in that core, and that's going to be a big, big price we're going to pay. We'll be able to get it back, though. But there are other guys in this matchup that I don't mind, too, and I'll give you 2 other guys I liked. I mentioned P.J. Washington. He's 1. So you got Davis and Washington. Somebody else I don't mind because he can help stretch the floor just a little bit. Not all the way to the arc, but to the elbow, and that could be just enough that maybe Memphis thinks, with their brilliance, to have Jaren Jackson Jr. cutting a little bit more than just hanging there at the arc, and that's Santi Aldama. And Santi Aldama doesn't need a lot of minutes to be productive, and I like Santi, and I think that Santi is going to be able to hit value tonight. And those right there, those forwards, I think will be money. I think they're the sweet spot. I think when you're thinking about this from a GPP standpoint, you can look at an Aldama, shouldn't draw a huge ownership here. Zach Edey is going to draw a ton of ownership. But I'll say this about the Mavs. The Mavs have been a very vulnerable team on the glass all year. But now that they've got Lively back in that mix, along with Anthony Davis, if this was just Anthony Davis, we'd still be attacking their boards a lot. Derek Lively's going to shut that down a little bit. Unless it's a blowout game and he's playing 15, 18 minutes, I don't see why he doesn't go 20 this time. And really for Daniel Gafford kind of just being a big body out there, but if Anthony Davis is going to play exclusively at the arc, Gafford will be beneficial. But Anthony Davis is going to need to keep moving because Memphis is going to get set up. Zach Edey's going to be there. You can't box the guy out. He's very good at the fundamentals when it comes to boxing out. And for all of you with kids out there that are playing ball, as soon as the shot goes up, you box. You're in that lane, you're boxing out. Not waiting for the bounce or anything. You box out ahead of time. If you're too physical, will you be called for the foul? Yes, you will. But if you box out and aren't moving and keep your feet planted, then you should be fine. That should work. It shouldn't be a problem. So, end of the day, when it comes to this matchup here, I love the pace. This makes me really love Desmond Bane because if John Morant can't move at 100%, then Desmond Bane is going to be running the point a little bit more. And I'm checking this stat right here live with you guys right now. And that's how many assists, because this is something interesting here, and maybe you can get away with a proper 2. That's why I currently right now have Scottie Pippen Jr. in there. But assists allowed to opponents, Dallas is bottom 10 in the league. Quick pace game. And so if John Morant needs to be more of a shooter, or John Morant wants to stay in certain areas between the paint and the arc to try to set himself up, we could see more of Desmond Bane. So for me with this situation right here, even though I don't think John Morant is going to sit, he's going to play, he's going to have mega usage, it's John Morant. He's going to have his fun gun celebrations and grenade celebrations. That's John Morant. He's going to do that. He's going to push that limit and everything like that. But Desmond Bane is going to have to be key for this team tonight. And Desmond Bane has been a good friend of the Elite Mafia because we've hit a lot of bets surrounding Desmond Bane. Tony, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you saying that. That is actually the first time in the history of the world that someone said that I actually look good. So I appreciate that one very much. Keeping it right there in my brain back everything just to make sure. So I'll say that. Thank you very much, Tony. Wow, I'm almost verklempt at this point because someone says I'm good looking. It's okay. You don't have to pretend or anything like that. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be hitting on a little bit more football as the NBA season comes to a close on Fantasy Sports Daily. I'm going to start talking a little bit more football, getting you guys ready. Make sure you catch all of our draft coverage at fantasyguru.com. We have streams right on our site for all of you to have fun with and to get ready, especially you Dynasty League players out there. With the tech issues that we had, I know that what you're going to see, there is a draft preview that is talked about in the text there. That is not going to happen, though, because I just wanted to get on. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we're still in it to win it. We still got sports going on, and we've got a nice 2-game NBA slate tonight, and we'll continue having NBA coverage throughout the playoffs. I'll be writing bets. I got one in the kicker already for Fantasy Guru's NBA Discord. You got to go check that out, and you got to subscribe. You can sign up for VIP Platinum. You get everything when you go to fantasyguru.com. You could sign up for one of our plans, and if you sign up for that VIP Platinum, you can get access to everything, cheat sheets, write-ups, Discord, everything. All the sports that we have, including football and baseball, which is ongoing. So with that, Ray Flowers will be back on Monday. I know it's been kind of a game of musical chairs on Fantasy Sports Daily. Traveling for the holidays, Ray has been very kind to accommodate, so that's awesome right there. And it was finally very nice of my internet to accommodate our little 21-minute stream session that we have. So I want to thank everybody for hanging with me. I know this was a little bit of a quickie, but still, where there's a chance to win, we've got you covered at fantasyguru.com. Give me a follow at Fensty Sports, FENSTY Sports. Like I said, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern. I normally do Wednesdays. Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates, everybody that's celebrating Passover. Happy Passover to all of you. Make sure you get some time with some family, and make sure, by the way, that you're listening to SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio today, 1 p.m. Eastern, and tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern for the season debut of DFS Dunks and Dimes. I'll be talking basketball while the NBA playoff games are going on SiriusXM Channel 87. Again, 5 p.m. Eastern every single Saturday throughout the playoffs, except for next Saturday because there's the NFL draft and football drives the bus, pays the bills. We all love it. We all know it. It keeps our industry afloat. Thank you very much, everyone. SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, 1 p.m. Eastern. I will see you there, and have a great